Seviin Yoga here. I'm going to bring LeNaya in from her company page. But quickly, I just want to let you know that LeNaya Crawford is a licensed marriage and family therapist. She's a registered play therapist and a registered yoga teacher. She earned her bachelor's degree in psychology from Spelman College. If anyone's from Spelman or went to an HBCU, make sure you drop that right now in the comments. Drop that right now. She has a master's in marriage and family therapy, and she specializes in trauma therapy and child adolescence therapy. She's also she's a Richmond graduate, and she's also the co-founder of Seviin Yoga. So we're going to get into all of that. Hey, I see some Hampton universities in here, SU in here. What's up? Okay, let's see. I see someone from Detroit, Cleveland. Oh, we got a lot of people all over. So let's bring in LeNaya. Welcome, welcome, welcome to our live. Let's see if she can get in here. Until then, hey, how are you? We got a whole plant situation going on.
I know, I like your plants too. We're like plant moms over here.
We are. Welcome, welcome. I'm letting everybody know a little bit more about you. I just did a quick little intro before you hopped on. Also, too, everyone, there's a question box at the very bottom. It has a little question mark. If you would like to submit a question for LeNaya on today's topic, hit the button, put the question in there, and then we'll shoot up your question during the Q&A portion of today's live. All right, so how are you feeling? Let's start off with that.
You know, honestly, I'm feeling really rested. I'm feeling great. Quarantine with my husband has been wonderful and figuring out a way to pivot during this whole time. So for the most part, I think I'm feeling good. What about you?
I'm hanging in there. You know, every day has been pretty busy, crazy enough. You would think that being inside, you would have less to do, but still with digital learning for the kids, with just work overflowing, and then their extracurricular activities are still going on. Like we got Zoom meetings for basketball. There's Zoom meetings for dance. So nothing stopped. And it's been actually more work on me because now I have to manage all these things. I'm like screaming at them, like, you got a basketball, come on, you got this at 6. So I am their executive assistant, and I'm cool with that, you know, but it's a lot of work. And a lot of cooking has been going on over here too. What about you? What are you making right now?
Well, honestly, my husband, he's the cook in the family. He's been experimenting with like Korean styled food. I'm Jamaican, so he always likes to experiment with Jamaican food as well. His most favorite dish that he's making now are called senorita bowls. It's his take on the Chipotle rice ball. Guac and Dewey sausage and chorizo. It's really good. So that's been eating really well.
Oh my gosh, that sounds so good. Okay, so today our icebreaker question, and also you guys can submit icebreaker questions if you think there's something interesting that you would like us to debate or talk about. Put that in the comment section. But I'm going to ask you, if you were a TV character, which TV character would you be?
Great question. You know, I think I'd be a blend of two characters, if that's okay.
Okay.
So on one hand, I really love Olivia Pope from Scandal. I love that people rely on her. She's about her business. She gets things done. But I also love the family piece of Rainbow from Blackish. So she's still about all her business, but she's a family woman. So I would combine those two, and that would be my character.
Okay. I like that. Nice choice. Nice choice there. Okay, so let's talk about the fitness industry because it's been hit hard during the pandemic. And let's just rewind. When did you decide that you even wanted to be in this industry in the first place?
That's a great question. I ultimately decided I wanted to be specifically in the yoga space during graduate school. That's when I really found yoga. It helped with the stresses of the academics of being in a master's program. And so once I started doing yoga, I noticed that I was like the only Black girl in the studio. And if there was another person of color, it'd be like, oh my gosh, how are you? We would connect that way. And it was at that moment I realized that I wanted to create a space where I didn't feel awkward or like the only person sticking out when I wanted to do some yoga.
Yeah. And I'm so glad you did that because we enjoyed doing hot yoga at your studio. It's just beautiful seeing, you're the co-founder of this incredible space, but at the same time, just seeing, Black people owning a beautiful space that's connecting people of all races and colors. It's really cool to see and makes you proud. Makes you proud. Makes you proud.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Okay, so but fitness, has it always been something that you love, or did you have like a love-hate relationship with it?
I've always loved it, honestly, because as a kid, I played sports. I ran track, I played basketball, and I was really into basketball, actually. I did AAU, I traveled. So I've always been into the fitness space. So yeah, I've always had some sort of fitness background, I guess.
Oh, that is good. That's good to hear. So let's take them through a story time before we get into Georgia reopening. Tell everyone about your first Pretty Girl Sweat experience.
Yes. So I guess the first Pretty Girl Sweat experience was when we had the event at the studio. And it was so great to see all the ambassadors and all the people that came out to support. It was just a lovely group of women who were just really focused on the cause of making sure that being active was something that they promoted. It was really, really fun, especially teaching the group of girls who had not done yoga before. I think we all laughed and joked throughout the whole sequence because there were a few that had never done yoga before. So I really loved that experience with you all.
And then we added the hot element to it. So
Yes.
it was like
Everyone was so surprised. They were like, wait, are you really turning the heaters on? I was like, yes, you can do it. You can do it. But I loved that after the fact, they were like, okay, it wasn't so bad. The heat didn't kill me. Like it actually made my practice better. So it's always great when people experience hot yoga for the first time and they realize that it's a benefit.
yeah. Well, let's talk about the benefits because there are people out there who may have tried yoga before or haven't tried hot yoga before. Let them know what the difference is.
Yes. So when you're doing hot yoga, you are in a heated room. And so usually the heat is infrared heat. So almost similar to like going to a sauna. So essentially it's kind of like doing yoga in a sauna, but not that hot. I always say that, not that hot. The hottest it gets at our studio is like 95, 98 degrees. And it's really good to detox the body so it just stretch deeper than you would have if you weren't in the heat. So you notice that if you like do a seated forward fold, you can probably go further if you're in a heated environment versus like a cold or non-heated space. But those are the two biggest benefits. It detoxes the body and it helps loosen the muscles so you can stretch deeper.
Awesome. Do you have a client that you've seen transform by going to your studio?
Oh yes, so many. Two people actually stick out in my mind. They were on a weight loss journey and they weren't too sure how hot yoga could contribute. At first, they thought it would just be an added benefit to working out. But we have one client in particular, she's lost 30 pounds since joining the studio, and another's lost like 15. But it's also great to see the physical transformation, but also like the personality and the mental transformation. People that have come to the studio that were like high anxiety or high stress, and then you talk to them a few months later and like everything is great and they find gratitude in everything. So it's been awesome to see the bodily transformation, but also the mental transformation as well.
Awesome. And since we're on mental transformations, let's talk about therapy a little bit and why
Okay.
it's necessary for people to not be afraid of therapy.
Right. Yes, absolutely. I think everyone needs therapy. I'm a therapist. I'm in therapy. I think let's just shout it from the mountaintops. Everybody go to therapy. But essentially, like your therapist is someone that you can relate to. It's someone that you can vent to, and someone that's really there to guide you along your journey. I mean, especially in the time that we live now, anxiety is like an all-time high. And it's important to have a space where you can process the anxiety, but also get some useful and tangible tools to help with the anxiety. So things like breath work or perspective or finding gratitude in things. So therapy is definitely beneficial for everyone, but especially in this time.
Oh, sure, for sure. Okay, Georgia. So, I
We gotta
mean,
talk about Georgia.
talk about Georgia. Okay, so as a business owner who operates a facility that, makes money from people being there, being able to show up, I mean, for some people, there's no conflict, but I'm just saying, for you, what are your thoughts on Georgia reopening, specifically gyms and salons now? today. Like, this is the day that they have decided
It is.
to test this reopening.
I think that it doesn't feel like a well-informed decision. And so what we decided that for the safety of our teachers and our tribe, that we are going to continue to stay closed. We're looking at the CDC, WHO, and other major leaders in the fitness space, and no one is reopening. I am losing words because I'm baffled at the fact that someone who's supposed to protect the state would think it was okay to open, specifically gyms. Like, we know, we're sweating, it's bodily fluids. Like, that's a lot to be doing in the middle of a pandemic, right?
Yeah.
It's hard to limit a yoga class, right? Because the reason people come to yoga is to have that community feel. Social distancing is saying we can't be a community like we were before. So I think it's absolutely insane. And so we are going to do what we can to protect our tribe and stay closed a little bit longer.
Yeah. And even when you do reopen, what are some steps do you plan on taking to just make sure that your, clients are safe?
Right. Yeah. So being in the fitness space, I think that a lot of the CDC guidelines are things that we were doing already, just because we're mindful of the fact that we're in a sweaty, hot space with lots of individuals. So shoes off right at the door, hand sanitizer before you even touch or move anywhere or go to any places. We've eliminated hands-on assist, and hands-on assist probably won't be a thing until we know for sure that the virus is not as easily spread as it is now. So we will eliminate hands-on assists. We'll limit the amount of people that can be in the class, because, if you've ever been in like a really crowded yoga class, you're like 2 inches apart, right? So we'll probably extend that so that people can still have a few feet of space between each other. And then at the end of class, we'll probably ask students to hand sanitize or wash their hands before they leave. And then we will mop and sanitize the floors before each class. So in between each class, a lot more heavier sanitizing between each classes. And so that's what we'll do to keep our folks safe. And we'll continue to look to the CDC and WHO and other large fitness organizations to lead the way, since we can't 100% rely on other leaders.
I know, which is sad to say. I mean, the time we live in right now is like baffling. I just don't get it. There's a great comment in here from at the Omega Experience saying, as a massage therapist, I find it so dangerous for them to approve for it to be a safe thing to do. It's naturally impossible to social distance during a massage session. Very true. And what about even if you're a chiropractor? Because that's a thing. I know people need chiropractors if they have extreme back pain. And someone else mentioned in here, are there any yoga moves that you can do to alleviate back pain?
Yes, absolutely. So one of my favorite poses to do to alleviate back pain is called legs up the wall. So essentially you'll take and actually I have a block here, so like a yoga block, and you'll slide it underneath your lower back and just lift your legs up the wall, like on the imaginary wall. And so that relieves the tension that you have in your back, and it's such a great release. I do it almost every night because I have lower back pain often. Another great stretch for lower back pain, or just to stretch it out, is seated forward fold. So extending your legs out and really lifting through your chest and then reaching for your feet. You'll immediately feel that stretch in your lower back, and that's a helpful one as well. So
okay, those are great tips. Those are awesome. Got to give those a try. Oh, shout out to Jamie Ratliff for tuning in. Hello. We adore her. We adore her. I'm looking for more questions. But until then, since you sweat a lot, what's your #1 deodorant brand that you turn to?
Honestly, what is the my husband's right here. Do you know the deodorant brand? Secret? Yeah. Secret? I think it's Secret. It's like the blue Secret powder. Yeah, that's what I use. Keep it pretty basic. Yeah, it works for me.
That's and that's the point. It has to work for you, and then that's what you stick to, right? Okay, I love that. I love that. Okay, so ladies and gents, if there are some in here, please submit your questions via our question box. Let me see if there are some in there. I don't know. I'm like trying to figure out how to work this thing. But in the meantime, I'm looking through to see if there are questions in here. Okay, so let's talk more about your studio traffic. How are you feeling about the location of your studio? Are you loving the community in the area that you're in?
Yes, Kirkwood. We love Kirkwood. The neighbors and the community have been really welcoming, but it's also a great spot because it's on the east side, so there's not as many yoga studios. So we were one of the first yoga studios to really come to the east side, especially a heated yoga studio. But it's so great because we have people that can reach us from Stone Mountain or Midtown or downtown, so it feels like a really great central location, at least for like the in-town neighborhoods. So we love it.
Oh, that's good to hear. That's good. Okay. Wait, back to the Georgia reopening. Do you think there's anything that's actually safe to reopen right now? I mean,
Anything.
anything. Like maybe
I
some
mean,
places.
I guess if you're able to keep that safe distance, then yeah, if you can remain 6 feet away. But I'm thinking what businesses can do that.
That
I'm trying
I
to think.
know.
The ones that are already deemed essential that have been open through the whole time, those feel like the businesses that can remain or keep a safe distance while continuing to function. I don't think, I can't think of any. Can you?
I'm trying to. That's why I was like, I can't think of
Right.
it. And I'm like, maybe you can help me here, but no, I really can't.
No.
Okay.
I've been thinking about that too. I was like, what is actually safe to open right now that wasn't deemed essential before? And I honestly can't think of anything.
I can't either. Well, we have a question from at
Yeah.
Beautiful Brown Babies and Me. She wants to know, can we take your classes online?
Yes, you can. So we launched a Vibe and Stream platform about a month ago. So you can take classes with us live. So what you'll do is you'll go to our website, seviinyoga.com, and you'll purchase a pass. We're doing this month. We're offering unlimited yoga for $30, and we also have a week of yoga for $17. The month for $30 is a better deal, so you should go with that one.
Yeah.
But each day there are live classes. And if you can't attend the live class, we email you the class link afterwards. So that way that even if you sign up for the class, just know that you'll get the class in an email form. And that way you can keep your yoga practice going, because in this time, we need yoga. You need to be tuned into your breath, moving your body. So yes, Vibe and Stream, you can flow with us there.
Oh, great. Are you staying healthy and fit at home, or do you go to your studio privately to work out?
Actually, my husband Brandon and I, we made a gym in the basement, and he's been like recording our workouts. Yeah, so we have we have a boxing bag and gloves. We've got all these different things, and it's like a whole circuit training gym downstairs. So that's how we've been trying to stay fit and healthy.
Wow, Brandon is like MVP. He's got the gym set up. He's cooking.
He is. He's great. I mean, he really is great. He really is great, especially because like in this time, I'm seeing clients Monday through Saturday. I see them day in and day out. He's been so helpful. And he's an amazing husband. So shout out to Brandon. Hard eyes to him.
Okay. So as a professional and as a business owner, I always like to ask this question actually during our podcast. How are you smart with money, especially too during a pandemic? Because times are tough for everybody. So what are your tips?
So honestly, like saving and budgeting has been something that's been ingrained in my mind since I was a child. My parents were always like, work for yourself, be your own boss, budget and save. So continuing those same kinds of principles have really helped. And just taking advantage of anything that anyone's offering. So if your car payment company says that you can defer your loan for a couple months without penalty, I recommend that people do that. If your mortgage company says you can defer your payment for a couple months, do that and save the money. And so when the pandemic is over, you'll have more money in your savings account than you did before. And then you'll be able to relaunch in a better and easier way. So that's what we've been doing, just taking advantage of any kind of thing that they're offering through the pandemic, but continuing to be smart and not overspend. And it's also helpful that we can't eat out as much either, because that's usually our pain point. Our trigger is like, oh, we love supporting local restaurants and we love to try new food. So that's been helpful with saving, is cooking more at home.
Oh, that's so good. And what about any like small business assistance? Have you been able to tap into any of that?
We are trying. So we actually this morning I got an email from Chase saying that they needed a couple of more documents and that we could be approved for that, because we definitely want to be able to offer more classes than we're offering now. But we can't do that without the assistance, because as you know, once people, the money starts slowing down because of the pandemic, you can't provide as much yoga as you did before. So fingers crossed we'll get some assistance so we can continue to spread yoga the 7 way.
Awesome. I think we got a question in the box. Let's see what we got here. All right, let's bring this question in. Okay, what are some things we can work on to alleviate anxiety during this pandemic?
Great question.
Brandon.
Right, great question, Brandon. So definitely tuning into your breath and being mindful of your breathing. It sounds so easy and it sounds so basic, but when you actually take the moment to tune into your breath, it has the power to truly like calm the nervous system down. And so I guess, would you like to do a breath together?
I was just about to ask you that. I'm like, let me put my laptop down. Let's go. I'm ready.
All right, so we'll do 2. So the first one is one of my favorites, and I usually end my yoga classes with this breath. So we'll take a deep breath together before we start. So take a deep breath in through your nose, and then exhale out of your mouth. All right, now take a deep breath in through your nose. Keep inhaling through your nose to a count of 7. And then hold your breath. Hold it there. And then exhale out of your mouth. Let's do that again. Inhale through the nose. Hold it at the top. Open mouth, sigh it out. One more time. Inhale through the nose. Hold it at the top. Exhale, sigh. And then blinking your eyes open. You already look calmer, Aeshia. Look at you. Yeah.
I needed that. I definitely needed that. Thank you.
Yeah, I was like, you look more relaxed.
I do. I'm just like, whew. I can go take a nap. I have too many more lives to do today.
Right.
So that was so.
Take a nap.
Oh, you said after the lives, yes. I've already, after 3 o'clock, it's on. I'll continue doing the breathing and I'll, chill and relax. Okay, so what's next for you and for 7 Yoga?
So we'll continuing to promote the Vibe and Stream. I definitely think doing the virtual yoga is something that we'll continue to do. We're also in the works of planning a yoga teacher training. We want to be able to teach other people how to present yoga the 7 way. So that's in the works too. And then of course, expanding the schedule once the pandemic is over, once it's safe to open.
Love that. I think it's a very smart idea to keep the virtual training practice going. I just feel like that's the one thing that has been a huge benefit about this pandemic, is that people realize there were tools that they weren't tapping into as much that they should have been. So, there's always some good in something. Okay.
Right. Yeah. So you can find gratitude in everything. So absolutely.
In every single thing. Well, everyone who was watching, I hope you enjoyed the breathing session as much as I did, because it really calmed me down. I hope you all participated in it. Make sure you go to at Seviin Yoga with 2 Eyes to check out more about this amazing studio here in the Atlanta area. And then you could also follow at Color Me, let me get it right.
Yeah, Color Me _ Nay
with 2 Eyes. Yeah, I pinned it in the comments so you can see it there. Follow her and get inspired. And this was great. I enjoyed every minute speaking with you.
Thank you. Absolutely.
All right,
we'll see you again sometime soon.
I'm praying we see each other sometime soon in real life. All right. Enjoy the rest of your day.
All right.